You can travel the world in a straight line. In the end, it will bring you back around. And I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. You can dive into the darkness for a salvation song, surprised by familiar sounds. I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. Well, water than fire, lower than higher, spinning colors overwhelmed. As I'm winding down my old road again, I am winding down. And deeper and wider, roots gripping tighter, sinking further into this ground. As I'm winding down my old road again, I am winding down. I'm winding down my old road again, I am winding down. I'm winding down my old road again, I am winding down.
Good morning, friends. Thanks for being here this morning at Journey Home Meditation for the Morning Sit. This is Seth Mountain from Seth Martin and the Minders.
Can you still make things new? An old river, do you remember? Well, all the things I said I'd do.
So this morning at Journey Home Meditation, just taking a moment to be held.
And there's new rings every spring. We're circling around the same trees, and the deepest change came when you stayed. So I let this place root in me, singing I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. Yeah, I'm winding down my old.
This morning we're going to do a little shared breath work and probably some contemplation and definitely some poetry. But I wanted to take this moment with my old friend Seth and share it with all of you. There's something really beautiful about the way that a singer and a poet and someone who's recklessly in love with God and everything that is, in every person that they meet. And that's what it was like. That's what it is like to sing that song with Seth Martin. We used to sing that song for 20 minutes, and that's no exaggeration. He'd be up there with just a banjo and a chorus of friends, and we'd have entire churches or a cornfield in Illinois or, a cafe in Portland, Oregon, One time we stood up on our chairs at a restaurant in Portland called Montage. We were on tour with Holy, 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 and we met Seth Martin on that tour. And we went to dinner and we just brought our instruments inside to this very large, very busy restaurant and just stood up and just sang lovely songs to everyone who was dining. And uh, it was just a wonderful, beautiful time. And this is not nostalgia. This is a reminder that this is a possibility. This is what we can be doing today. You know, we can sing ourselves into love in any moment. Just sing ourselves into love. It's not difficult. Um, and Seth is really good at that. So I wanted to share that this morning. Um, I think we are living in a moment collectively right now where we are faced with opportunities to continue moving on as if everything is the way we think it is, or we have the opportunity to see the world as it is right now and show up with what the world wants, with what love is asking of us. And this is in every facet of our lives that I can see this happening for so many people. I can see this happening with a friend who is very well aware of their death that's approaching. I can see this happening with a, a friend who is having a difficult time moving into uh, a heart space in their lives. I can see this with a friend who is struggling with substance use and self abuse. I can see this with friends who are on the front line um, trying to make a stand for love, to stop the deportations, to stop the tearing apart of families. I can see this with my friends who stand every week on a street corner holding signs to let everyone know that this genocide in Palestine is not okay. I can see this in the faces and the actions of my friends who, for decades, have fought endlessly to let everyone know that you don't have to just accept it as commonplace that poor people, brown people, queer people are being gunned down or murdered or abused and disabused of their rights every day in this country. Uh, and all of these things, these are all like we call these things politics, but it's not. It's not politics. There is a poem, Padrakotuma. Um, it's a very brief poem, but it's from his book, uh, Sorry for Your Troubles. And it's called Men in a War. Men in a war prefer the talk of politics than of pain. Men in a war prefer the talk of politics than of pain. And there's so much to see that playing out in our lives. Because it's not just the wars that we fight in battlefields with, camouflage clad soldiers. It's the war that we have agreed to enter into when we agreed to the idea that there is a war. Um, and then, ever since that agreement was made, there's just been people born into it. And I don't know much about choice. I don't know who has privilege to choose, who does not. I don't know that that's how this whole thing works. I don't know that I can choose love or not. So I don't know if I can choose hate or not. I don't I don't know that I can. I think in some ways we become overpowered by beliefs, and that is informed by our sense that we are not living up to something. Um, and I think that the response in a body that's conditioned to avoid pain and discomfort is to fight. Mostly we fight ourselves. Mostly we have a battle going on inside of ourselves. And just like any war, there's starvation, there's violence, there's dehumanization and dismissiveness. There's all those things. But we call those things politics because we don't understand what it would be like to just call it what it is, to just call it pain or to call it fear or to call it humanness, because we demonize all those things, the human aspects of fear and pain and discomfort and being wrong. It is literally life or death for some people to be wrong. And it doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them narcissists or whatever pathology we'd like to cast onto somebody so that we can use it as a dispersion, and um, we can try to be grateful, by the grace of God go we. Nope. No one gets out of this one, buddy. No one gets out of this. There is no grace of God that does not include your neurosis. There is no grace of God that does not include your pain and the horrible things that you are here to see. That doesn't happen. So when you are seeing the pain, that is the grace of God. That pain, that sorrow, that unhiding discomfort, that's the grace of God. And I don't know what this rant really is coming back to, except for to say, I am happy to be here today. uh, hmm. Just don't look away. Just don't look away. That's all that's being asked right now. And this is not political. This is the way we love. This is the way we teach. This is the way we learn. This is all happening on every level we can imagine. And it just comes down to some belief that we are not allowed to love fearlessly. That it might be better if we didn't. And so when Seth Martin starts the chorus with all of us singing for what feels like hours, I'm winding down that old road again. I am winding down. It's a mantra. And he keeps bringing us back. And we recognize in our mantra that we come back to the beginning and we go again, and we come back to the beginning and we go again. And it gets to a point when there is no beginning and there is no end. Each word is its own prayer. And we breathe in, and you don't know where to start and when to stop, but you just keep breathing and you just keep singing. And then it all starts to fall into place. We're on that old road. You can travel the world in a straight line, but in the end, it'll bring you back around. I'm winding down that old road again. I am winding down. Thanks, Seth Martin. Let's see what we have here, we're going to pick right up into Bell Hook's Appalachian Elegy, Poetry in Place, because we did not pick up into it last week. There were, I guess, there were good reasons to not. I don't know. But we're going to pick back up. We're at number 15 in Appalachian Elegy. We're going to see if the Bell Hook's magic continues. I need more light. Pink and white oleander, not native to Appalachian ground, still here lies years and years of poison, rebel flags, heritage and hate. In the war to fight hunger and ongoing loss, there are no sides. There is only angry mind of hurt, bringing death too soon, destroying all our dreams of union. Let's give it one more round. Pink and white oleander, not native to Appalachian ground. Still, here lies years and years of poison. Rebel flags, heritage and hate. In the war to fight hunger and ongoing loss, there are no sides. There is only the angry mind of hurt, bringing death too soon, destroying all our dreams of union. The angry mind of hurt. Oh, how familiar are you with that angry mind of hurt? Gosh, I know that um, I spent years of my life cultivating a very well rehearsed and eloquent anger. And even still today, when the hurt comes up, there's still the the well-worn groove that it wants to go into. When the hurt shows up, there is that easy voice of anger that wants to come out. The wanting someone else to see the pain that's being caused. And with enough practice, you can create and craft an anger that is um, so fluid and honey sweet that it becomes alluring. But and what is also true and true and what is true is, so long as we continue to keep that angry mind of hurt projecting ourselves outward, we are still unwilling to sit with that part of us that is in pain. When Padre said that, men in a war prefer the talk of politics. I think that was the language he used. Men in a war prefer the talk of politics than of pain. Because the talk of politics is that angry mind of hurt that can externalize everything and make rationality out of this irrational, unrationable emotion, this feelings that come so strongly that you can't ration them out into small bits. They just have to flow like that river that Seth Martin was singing to us about. Old river, do you remember? So we lose ration when we accept love. When we accept love, we lose the ration. But Bell Hooks is reminding us that in this soil, there is that history of heritage and hate. She's talking specifically about a history of enslavement, of enslavers, of genocide, a history of the heritage of dominance and control and torture and abuse that took place in those hills that she from where she comes on that large level of human existence that is there for us that cannot be moved on and forgotten. It has to be um, incorporated into our prayer. It has to be accommodated by our understanding that this is part of what makes us today. The difference between the past and history is the past is something we think happened a long time ago, but history is that story that comes through us. It lives through us. And we're still living that story of the poison in the soil, of that which doesn't belong. And that which doesn't belong is that division and separation and hate and fear. And that takes place, what we call politics. It takes place in pain, it takes place in the personal. And it plays out in every relationship we have as well. Our bodies are those souls. There still lives poison of previous pain, abandonment or rejection or safety and security that fuel our decisions. And as much I think that we have moved beyond that, you do not move beyond what you are made of. You have to move through with it. And you have to carry that and say, this is part of my makeup. This is part of the dirt and the soil and the minerals and the nutrients and everything that makes up this body, this pile of blood and bones and clay, just waiting to return. And we only get so long. We only get so fucking long to be. It's all you get. This one time, it's all you get. Maybe your spirit, that I am that is beyond who I think I am, the I am that is not this personality, that is not this mind, that is not this body, that I am of existence, that spark of consciousness, that spirit that moves into my body at birth and moves out of my body at death, that goes on and on and on, 1,000 and 1,000 and 1,000 times. But me, hi, I'm Michael. Nice to meet you. I come from Ohio. I come from cornfields and mud, and I come from shame and guilt, and I come from hilarity. And I come from summer nights and fireflies, and I come from always wanting to dance, but always being a little bit shy on the inside to do that. And I will only be here for a while. I'll only be here for a while. And I'll only continue to exist beyond my death for a while. There'll only be one or two generations of people who will say my name and will remember the sound of my voice and the clumsiness of my words just a while. And my spirit will go on and will join the great union of all spirit, but I'm just here for a while. So I want to love unfettered, no rules, just this time. And that has to include understanding all of that heritage and hate and the tendency towards politics instead of pain. All of that is part of it. And I had one more poem I wanted to do today. So I'm going to do it before we close up. This is a poem by a poet called Ellen Bass. And this is from their book, Like a Beggar. Ellen Bass, I believe, lives in Pacific Northwest and is a teacher, a professor at Pacific University. At least that's what the most recent bio I read was. I just found this poet. I want to say I found this poet through another poet, which is likely where I found this poet out. And I don't recall who it was. There's a lineage of learning about poetry and poets that I like to keep track of, and I'm blanking right now on who it was that brought this poet. I'm glad they did. And this poem's called Prayer. I wore a dress liquid as vodka. My lover watched me ascend from the subway like I was an underground spring breaking through. I want to stop wanting to be wanted like that. I'm tired of the song the rain sings in June, the chorus of hope, the ravenous green, the earth, her ornate crown of trees spiking up from her lonely head. Pardon me. I'm going to start the whole poem over. I need a light. There we go. Prayer by Ellen Bass. Once I wore a dress liquid as vodka. My lover watched me ascend from the subway like I was an underground spring breaking through. I want to stop wanting to be wanted like that. I'm tired of the song the rain sings in June, the chorus of hope, the ravenous green, the earth, her ornate crown of trees spiking up from her loamy head. There are things I wanted like everyone. But to this angel of wishes I've worshipped so long, I ask now to admit the world as it is. The world is. And that's what it is to be loved. That's what it is to be loved. As it is. Otherwise, we're being imagined and we're playing a game. And playing games is wonderful. It's wonderful and it's useful and it's helpful. And then there's a moment where we just go, hey, wait a second. I just want to see you as you are so that I can see me as I am. And when we get to a place where we can do that, we will be in love. All of us, every single one of us. When we get to a place where we can do that, see and be seen exactly as we are, that's love.
We're circling around the same tree. So I let this place root in me, singing I'm winding down my old road again. I am winding down. I'm winding down my old road. I am winding down. Yeah, I'm winding down my old road again, but everything seems to have changed. Well, the faces, the places, foggy mountain traces, different yet the same. I wanna let my blood and oil blend and sing with the soil, keep my feet bearing close to this ground. As I'm winding down my old road again, I am winding down. They said all who wander are not lost, but only the lost can be found. And I am winding down my old road. I am winding down. I am winding down my old road. I am winding down. I am winding down my old road. I am winding down.
Let your heart break. Just let your heart break. Let it 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 break open. Thank you for being here today. I want to love you, each and every one of you. And I want to be loved.
New rings every spring. We're circling around these same trees, but the deepest change came when you stayed.
Hariom.